All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday. So good morning for the second day today, this week of trading. Hoping everyone is doing all right. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I'm doing great. Yourself?
Doing good, man. Doing good. All right, guys. So let's get to it. We had a pretty decent watch list yesterday. We're not going to go through it this morning as usual. We have been kind of changing the way that we've been kind of doing that segment. Hopefully, we'll get back to it. Once these two lists become a little bit more smaller. Right now, we can see it's a lot gapping up this morning. So we'll get into the market pulse. See what's causing some of that. I got some huge numbers down here too. We'll get into these, and then we'll see what's gapping down as well. So let's go over to the market pulse first this morning, and kind of Norm give us an update what's happening there and what's going on at the moment.
Yeah, I think primarily this is we're bouncing off kind of a technical level that we hit yesterday in the 273-ish, 274-ish range. And we are uh also oil stabilizing a little bit is helping it out. In addition to that, the Congress, the Senate passed another $500 billion in um, relief for businesses and hospitals, all kinds of institutions. So all that together is giving us a little bit of a bounce this morning. We'll see if it sticks, man. We'll see if it sticks. I wake up and I see these, and I just remember some of the days we've been up, and then it fades all day has been the right trade to take. So I'm not saying that's the right thing, but it wouldn't surprise me. I'll
Yeah.
put it that way. Not a whole lot of economic data specifically coming out. We today, and tomorrow we'll have jobless claims, flash PMI, new home sales, and then a little bit more on Friday. Consumer sentiment 10 a.m. on Friday will be interesting as well. So it's kind of what's going on today. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on those thoughts as well. It's just you just never know. So interesting to see how we're gonna end the week. That's what I'm looking forward to. I mean, right now we're just kind of chopping around a little bit. How are we going to end this week is gonna be great to see. All right, folks. So let's get to what we have here. Right now we have a lot on our green. Let's start with the red. What's gapping down this morning? Let's start with over here. UAL is leading the way this morning. By the way, we changed our layout a bit. Again, this is something we slapped on together yesterday pretty quick. Just so we can see our gap down over here in this area, or I'm sorry, gap up and gap down to kind of get a little more room in here. So hopefully this can be a little more clear for those watching. Still, you can see the gap up is still huge. Can't cover it all, but we'll do our best so you guys can be able to
Uh-huh.
see as much as possible. All right, so going over here, let's start with UAL this morning. So they are here's our 5 minute. Yeah, they're gapping down 3.1 at the moment. Let's remove some of these levels just to get something a little more clean here. So on the daily, gapping up a little bit here. They got some good volume. 4.8 million shares traded at the moment. They're down 3.1. Again, they didn't do much yesterday. Yesterday, it just seemed like it was very choppy. Again, a lot of these airlines were just not trading all that clean. Had a nice big pop here yesterday, but overall, it's just not all that clean. And UAL usually is not the greatest of the airlines. But again, today they got some volume, 4.8, which is quite a lot for UAL. I want to see what Delta and the other guys are doing as well. Let's just take a quick look. Delta is pretty much flat right now, 2.6, 1.2. Again, just not
So
all that great.
UAL has specific news
They
to it.
do.
Actually, the reason they're gapping down against the market, they actually have a secondary offering. They're raising $1 billion on a secondary offering in the equity markets in order to help get them through this time. That's what's going
Oh,
on here.
that makes sense because the volume is so high today. It's 4.8, which usually for them is not that high. So we'll keep an eye on UAL and see what's going on there. We'll have it on our list. Next on here we have let's look at Delta, see what everybody else is doing. But the other airlines might not have this type of news, obviously, and therefore for the most part, American Airlines and Delta are not doing all that much this morning. UAL, American Airlines is up slightly, sitting on the previous day close with some decent volume, but again, no great pre-market activity at the moment. Let's look at some of the other ones gapping down here. Bud is a more of a foreign stock, doesn't trade all that well. They're down 5.6 this morning,
Yeah.
211. So again, not one that we like to watch. BIIB. BIIB this morning. This one we have looked at this one before in the past, but this is a very tough stock to trade. I seen the price action on this one. It's not the cleanest stock. Again, they're down 6.4 this morning, 121,000 shares traded. Their spread could be a little bit funky sometimes, and their volume for the most part, if you look down here, is very light on any given day. Even on this day here where you had a nice big pop, you still have very light volume, guys. Look, we only traded 10 million shares. So again, it's one of those stocks that I'm not sure what the news is today, Norm. What's going on with this one? Have you dig into that one? I know
They had earnings this morning, and they actually beat their top and bottom line. So I have not. I'm running I'm running slightly behind this morning, and haven't gotten a chance to dig in exactly why they're falling 6.5% when they beat. So
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
if I
interesting that
see it,
they're
I'll
down.
point it out. I apologize for that. Like I said, this came out just, I don't know, 30 minutes ago, I think, and I'm running a little bit behind.
No, no worries, man. We'll keep it on here. Let's see what we can get out of it. Again, it's not the easiest stock to trade. We have looked at it before. We'll keep it on here for now, see what we can get out of it. If it gets any better, what type of news we have behind it. AEO this morning, it is down 7% right now, 7.3, 150. Not a great pre-market activity, though. This is your pre-market action right now. Again, not much going on. You do have 150,000 shares traded, but that's not providing a lot of movement and activity this morning. So I'm going to skip on it, guys, for the most part. If it gets better, throw it out to us. We'll look at it again. But right now, it's not worth watching.
Yeah,
TRMD.
it doesn't look
Yeah.
like good pre-market activity, but the catalyst on it is they're raising $400 million on convertible bonds. So
Okay. Okay. So again, we'll come back to it. Right now. It doesn't look all that great. Let's see if that can get something going for it. TRMD this morning. This one it is down 20%. Again, just what's the float on this? 24.5. I could tell yesterday you had a very insane day. What happened yesterday? This thing went from $8 all the way up to 48. This looks similar to that other stock we were watching. I forgot the ticker, where it was where it took off just like this, with almost barely any volume. Look at this, guys, going up all the way up to
these
50.
are these ship. This is a shipping company out of Denmark. This is that the same oil, the
Yeah,
press and the oil markets. Anybody that can store oil was just, I hate to use the word, but on fire.
yeah, yeah.
So,
That is
I mean, you
correct.
can just get your freaking head ripped off trading these too.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
got to be super careful.
I mean, this is very similar to what happened to the last one, right? You had the one where it got too toppy, and then right here, here's the gap
Yeah.
down. I mean, can you imagine? Even if you got a good entry anyway in here, and this catches you off guard, you're here now. You know that's the dangerous thing about these stocks. That the liquidity is so light that you can have a great entry. You could be sitting up nicely here and probably taking some profits out, and then next thing you know, you're gapping down 20, $30 on per share. You know, that's scary. That's scary. And the thing is, this guy's, you're looking at it now and thinking, oh, of course, who's the idiot is going to get in here after it's so extended? But this can happen at any moment. You know, that's the gamble here. This can happen at any moment. It can happen here. It can happen here. And you're sitting in a very tough situation. So we're going to completely skip on this one, guys. Not something we want to keep an eye on. All right, let's look at what's green this morning. We'll start with the top here. Let's look at PECK. At the moment, they are very active. 54 million shares traded right now. We got two low floats to start off the day right here on the green side. This one's 3.4 million shares float right now. Very active. Had a big day yesterday. Gapped up nice, and then gave it back for the most part throughout the entire day. And today we're gapping up again, another 54% right now with 368,000 shares traded. So we'll put it down the low float team. We'll put this one down pack. It looks very active right now. We got some good volume on it, and we got a very active pre-market activity. Sometimes these low flows don't give you a good pre-market activity. This one's giving you a nice one right now. So let's see if it can maintain this momentum it's got going. It's kind of banging its head on the yesterday's high at the moment. We'll see what it can do there. Let's look at BNTX.
They got an investment and a partnership
Mm-hmm.
for production of some of their equipment, which are solar units.
Okay, gotcha. So that's creating some momentum for them for sure today. BNTX here is up 30%, 778,000 shares traded. So we got some really good volume. The daily on this is horrible though. So again, actually I skipped one. I gotta look at MUNX. I will look at that one next. BNTX here, guys. This is not looking all that great. Again, the daily looks doesn't look great. The pre-market though does look interesting though. You do have a good pre-market activity right now. We are up 30%, and it's not a low float. It's a 50 million shares float, so definitely worth watching. We'll take a look at it, but I'm not a fan of the daily at the moment. BNTX, we'll throw that on here. We'll come back to that one. We skipped one. Let's look at IM. It looks like it flipped on me. IMUX. Let's look at this one. See what's going on there. IMUX. This is also another low flow that's very active this morning. Now, this one doesn't look as good as the one we just saw here, PEC. This one is gapping up 54%, but the pre-market is not looking all that exciting right now. So again, as high as 17, now hanging around 13 bucks, but this thing was trading around 8 bucks yesterday. Not sure what the news is and what's causing this pop, Norm, but this is usually one of those that we don't pretty much pay attention to for the most part on IMUX.
They had some news late yesterday on clinical trial for COVID stuff, but like you said, 10 million biotech. Finviz has a 10 million share float. Trade Ideas has 3.3. It's just not anything I've really spent any time digging into on that.
Yeah, agreed 100%. Let's look at Snap. So early in the chat, I saw in the pre-market in our chat room.
Sorry, I've got my CFO in the house this morning since it's Wednesday, so I'm doing double duty here.
You got it. So we have Snap here. Is it Wednesday? I thought it was Tuesday. I'm losing track of days, man.
We're all missing what day it is.
So here is Snap. Let's look at Snap this morning, see what's going on there. So Snap, it is up. It is up nicely, 54%. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm looking at IMX. Excuse me. No. Snap cannot. I was shocked. I'm like, Snap cannot be up that much. Here we go. That's more like it. Still up a huge amount, 20%. Norm, what's the news on Snap this morning? We definitely got something going here today.
Snap had earnings after the close last night, and their active user growth was just amazing. They did pull their guidance, but they beat their estimates. Their user growth was just crazy. All the people being home have been using it a ton, apparently. It is jumping on that news. It also got an upgrade this morning out of Oppenheimer with an $18 price target on it.
Wow, very nice. So Snap definitely has got a lot going on today. I mean, it's just a shame that the pre-market activity looks so horrible, 1.9 million shares traded. But that's typical for Snap. It could be a very choppy stock with a lot of volume. So again, almost 2 million shares traded right now. Nice big gap up for Snap. Definitely going to be on our list. Now, let's hope that Snap is going to trade clean today, because it can be such a choppy stock sometimes, even with volume and news. So let's hope that today they're going to be on the right side of things when it comes to actual pre-market opening price action this morning. So here's INO this morning. Yesterday we had INO as well. I did not keep it on my list, guys. Let's see what it did yesterday. Again, you had a nice little pop here, nice little drop, so you could have taken this both ways. But overall, I took this one off my list. Again, it's just one of those stocks that can be a hit or miss. Today, they're gapping up again, another 7.2 with some good volume. Worth watching. We're getting out into this level of resistance we're testing right now, which was prior resistance a couple of days ago. And then here we have 1186. So we'll keep an eye on it. It did trade very well yesterday. Hopefully today can do the same thing. And hopefully if you had it on your list, you took advantage of it. Next on our list is MYOV. Let's take a look at what's going on there. This morning, they are up 5.9. Now, this stock we looked at before, and we have had it in our watch list plenty of times. Doesn't trade all that clean, guys. We have 164,000 shares traded right now. We are up 5% on this one. But again, not something that's not one of our favorite stocks to keep on watch. We'll keep an eye on it, see how it continues to develop this morning. Let's take a look at a few more, NAT and then Twitter, and then we'll go over to you guys, see what you guys have on your end. I'm going to scroll this list down a little bit so you guys can see what else is in the green. Let's look at NAT this morning. We are up 4.7, 167,000 shares traded right now. Horrible pre-market activity. We're going to skip on this one and go down to the next one. Let's go down to Twitter, see what's going on there. Twitter is up 5%, 181,000 shares traded. The daily has been a little bit all over the place, pretty much following what the SPY has been doing, right? We've been doing these two bounces here, kind of gave a little bit back right now, just kind of chopping around. So I don't see anything too crazy on the daily. A lot of stocks that you look at now have this exactly similar SPY market look at the moment. Now, Twitter doesn't have great volume. It is pushing up here in the pre-market a little bit. Could be worth watching. I'm not sure. I don't think there's any specific news on Twitter, but this could be moving on a sympathy move with Snap is what I'm thinking here. So we'll just slightly keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too, a sympathy move on Snap.
Okay, excellent. And it's just scrolling down here, guys. We got all our usual suspects, the cruise lines, the GE, the banks, Citibank, Bank of America are on here, NVIDIA, Baba, Tesla is popping up. Again, our usual suspects. Let's look at mRNA. That was calling me out because this one has been just very fun to watch. It's been very active, has given us some really good opportunities. Let's remove some of these levels here. For the most part, the last 2 days. So today, right now, they're only up 3.3 with some light volume, but this could be one that, again, it just has been trading very clean in the intraday. So let's keep an eye on this one. I'm gonna look at BA and we'll look at some. Yeah, let's look at BA. BA's pre-market starting to get going. I like BA. It's just been, even with how choppy the daily looks, the intraday itself has been clean. So let's keep an eye on BA. And then the last one I want to take a look at is Tesla. Let's see what they are up to this morning. Again, they got an amazing daily here. They popped up nicely. They're holding on this level here that we had from before around this area. That's now becoming support, bouncing off that 600 and 680 with some good pre-market activity and some good volume. So let's keep an eye on Tesla, and we can fine-tune this list a little bit later, of course. All right, let's start today. Let's start with our YouTube chat. Let's see what you guys have on watch this morning. So I'm going to pull this up here. Let's see what we got. Joshua is giving us guilt. And Norm, if you have anything you want to throw on here, just cut in and let me know.
I'm just doing reports for the CFO right now.
Gotcha. So here we have guilt this morning, guys. This one is gapping up 1.6. This one took a nice big drop off the gap up it had. It had a huge gap up. The last couple of days sold off nicely, coming all the way down to a nice area of prior resistance right on here, right? We also see that some days, bouncing off that previous day close line on there. So we got a moving average also there. So we got a little bounce this morning. Not a great pre-market activity with some okay volume, 94,000 shares traded, but this is typical gilt action, right? So again, the last 3 days they traded very clean. They had some really good, insane reversals. We saw that one last week on here. I think this was Monday, I believe. Again, just some really good action on it. So we could definitely keep an eye on it. We'll do some levels for it. Although right now, pre-market highs and lows got you pretty much covered on levels, but we'll take a closer look at that. Let's look at Roku, one of our favorite stocks to watch. This is a sleeper when it comes to stocks that can be very explosive and trade very clean. Let's remove these levels. We're giving some back this morning. I do like what I'm seeing on the daily. We got a nice area of support right on here. We're kind of stuck between the highs and lows, sitting right at the previous day close with some okay volume. Worth taking a look at. Even if Roku doesn't make our main list, is a great secondary stock to watch. It's just that great and explosive when it wants to be in play. You also want to be looking for this one in your scanners. Here is T this morning. So AT&T today is going at 374,000. So I wonder if there's any news on it, because usually AT&T doesn't move much. It's a very hard stock to trade. So at the moment we do have some volume on it. 374 up 3.3. The daily has been chopping around, so not sure if we're just going to be chopping in this area, or are we getting some movement going.
They had earnings this morning. I believe their EPS was in line, but their revenues were short. So
okay. So they are starting to get going here. Yesterday they were again they had a nice drop here and some good continuation of that drop of the VWAP. So again, some clean trading out of AT&T yesterday, but overall for the most part they're not that exciting to watch. But today they got something going. They got a catalyst. Let's take a look at it. We could see some good movement out of it this morning with some volume. Let's take a look at Microsoft as well. Microsoft this morning will remove these levels. We got the high and lows coming in, creating some congestion here. Towards the top, we are looking at 2% up this morning, 204. Again, the daily looks great on Microsoft. We had a nice breakout here, which we held for a little bit, gave some back, and we're gapping up this morning. So again, are we going to hold this area that was prior resistance and prior support? We'll have to see. Right now, pre-market looks good. It's got some volume. Yeah, worth looking at Microsoft. I know we have a lot on this list, but there's a lot on here I'm going to remove. There's some on here like INO, some BNTX, there's some other ones I'm going to completely take off this list. So it's not as long as we're going to definitely keep it. BNTX we have on the list. Thank you, Armando Lopez. We have that there. Netflix. Armando Lopez, that sound like a movie actor or something, that name. So here we have down 1.3 this morning is Netflix, 572. Netflix has been really good to watch. I didn't watch it yesterday though. How did it trade yesterday? Let's take a quick peek.
They had earnings after the close last night. Their subscriber growth was just amazing.
Yeah, look at this.
For the quarter with everybody trapped in.
Yeah.
I think they were up like 10% and then gave it all back and went red. So
yeah, I can see here going green to red this morning. We are building a base here in the pre-market right now around that 416, and we got some good volume off on Netflix. So let's see, people taking profits probably, and it again is holding this area. If you look at the daily, it's holding a very nice level here in the moving average. So I think Netflix is worth watching. I'm gonna throw it down here. Netflix. All right, here we go. All right, guys, I'm going to have to stop here because I'm going to have to fine tune this list. I'm running out of space. Let's look quickly into what our chat room has. NVIDIA, Microsoft, we looked at NVIDIA. Let's see what's going on with NVIDIA here this morning. Yeah, NVIDIA is okay. The volume is a little bit lighter than I would like to see, like we have on some of these stocks, but NVIDIA is all right at the moment. Thank you, Steve-O. BYND, let's take a look at what's happening with BYND. They were disappointed the other day. Didn't do much on the day I was watching it. I think it was the day before yesterday. It wasn't all that great. Today they have 142,000 shares traded. They're up 4% almost. Pre-market's a little bit light, not anything too exciting, but I know they have some good catalysts here. That's what caused the pop a couple of days ago, gapping up with some news on them growing in China. So we can definitely take a look at Netflix. I'm sorry, BYND. I'm gonna throw it right on here, BYND. Here we go. And then, so let's see what else we have. We have Delta. Whoops, I wrote that the wrong way here. Let's look at Delta. Let's look at the airlines. We looked at Delta earlier. Oh, it's starting to get a lot better now. We're starting to get a lot more volume, a lot more swing on it at the moment. So that's good. But I think UAL, if you look at UAL, yeah, they're still very choppy. So again, that news, this is why that news doesn't trade well. Normally, we were talking about it. Look how choppy this is. You got 7.2 million shares traded, but again, it's not doing much at the moment. So let's look at American Airlines. American Airlines was actually the one. Yeah, this was not doing much still. Yeah, Delta, you know what? I'm not seeing anything great out of Delta right now. We'll have to just come back to it. The pre-market is starting to get going here. You can see it's starting to pop up. The volume is good. But if we can get above these areas of resistance here, it could be a great trade, actually. You know what? I'm going to throw it down here. You guys might not be able to see it, but we'll look at Delta. We'll take a look at it. All right, folks, I'm going to stop here. We have so many great stocks. Let's fine-tune this a little
Do
bit.
a couple more.
Yeah, we'll do a couple more. All right, we could do that. Let's do a couple more.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's make some. Yeah, because we didn't get to other ones in the chat. So we have Delta. We have Facebook has news on regarding India. Let's see what we have on Facebook. Let's see here. FB. Oh, FB starting to get going. So we got a nice little pop here on FB over the last 30 minutes or hour or so. We can see we're getting some decent move towards the top side. Did it have anything to do yesterday too? Because yesterday we have after hours we have a nice pop here. So it looks like something happened yesterday as well. Nice big pop here with some good movement, and we're holding that. And if you look at Facebook here on the daily, it has been so choppy over the last couple of days, but we're getting hopefully into that 180 level, which could be great for a possible breakout. Facebook is good. Let's do this, guys. I'm going to fine tune this list because I know there's some stuff here I'm not going to watch. So BTNX, we have Snap. INO could be good. MYOV, I'm going to remove, guys, because it's just one that doesn't trade all that well. Twitter could be one of those sleeping stocks that can actually do well. UAL, I'm going to remove because the news on it is not great. And if you look at it now, the volume is not trading great, so we'll get rid of that one. mRNA could be exciting. BA is trading well. Tesla is nicely getting going here. Guild right now, as much as I know the stock can get moving, I'm going to remove it. Price action at the moment is not looking great, so we got to be a little bit picky today because we have a lot that's moving great. You guys gave some good suggestions here. Also, here's Roku, although Roku could be a great secondary play right now. Pre-market and volume is not great, so we'll get rid of this one for right now. We can come back to it later. On T, again, T has news, but the issue with T for me is just it doesn't trade very well. So for that only reason, I'm taking it off. That's the only reason I'm doing that, because if it was a regular day where we have all these other stocks that could be great potentials, I will definitely keep it. But for the most part, I'm gonna remove this one on here. All right, so we have that. Let's look at BA, Tesla, Microsoft, Netflix is decent. And this is what we'll do, guys. I know I'm not going to watch IMUX. I'm just not going to watch this low flow. I know some people are going to be watching PEC because it does have a great pre-market activity right now. So we'll do levels for it. BYND is decent, and Delta hopefully can get going here. All right, so we made a little bit of room at the moment. We'll take some more, but let's get to announcements first, and then we'll come back and we'll do some
Should get the new one.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up now. So while I do that, just give me one sec here. We'll pull that up. I know we got some interesting stuff coming up here. So looking forward to that this morning. All right, here we go.
All right, guys, as we've been doing every day with people down, people stuck at home. But we're doing our market close show live on YouTube, simulcasting over there. So 3:30 to 4 p.m. Eastern time. You got Mike, Peter, and Brian talking about closing out the day and any earnings that are coming out shortly after the close. So stay tuned for that. If you subscribe and hit that notification bell, you'll be notified when they go live in the afternoons. All right, guys. So this is an exciting change. Let's see here. Not that we don't like our own. Not that we don't like our own. Sorry. Not that we don't like our. Hang on a second, buddy. Not that we don't like our own. Andrew, sorry, that threw me off a little bit, guys. Next week we've got Dr. Kenneth Reed for our success webinar. The week after that, and it says, or excuse me, that's tonight with Dr. Kenneth Reed. So looking forward to that. He's going to be talking about navigating volatility during a bear market. Next week, Brett Steenbarger, Mike Bellafiore, talking about how proprietary firms mentor their new traders. So that should just be amazing. It will be in our lifetime webinar room and simulcast on YouTube. So look forward to that one. And then we had our Q&A last night with Dr. Katz, our own in-house psychologist. That will be posted for your viewing pleasure in the next day or so. They were working on that. I know I saw some notes about it this morning. And if you're watching us on YouTube, would like to try out the chat, you can do so at a discount when you sign up for the intro membership. Just use the promo code PREMARKET24 when you sign up for the intro membership. You'll have access to the classroom and our Monday night 8 p.m. Onboarding class. If you're looking to upgrade your membership or become a member, a lifetime member, you can do so 40% off. Lifetime single payment membership, use the discount code EarthDay at checkout.
All right, thank you, Norm. Appreciate that. All right, guys, let's see what we have here this morning. Let's kind of get to it. So right now, guys, we got a pretty good list. A lot of exciting stocks, some good catalysts here, some stuff that we had earnings on. So we'll see how those are going to be trading this morning. I didn't get to all the ones in our chat. So I see some other people are mentioning some really good ones on here. We have a little bit more space and a little bit more time. So let's look at Oxy. I've seen that one's been thrown out there. Oxy's been interesting. We got a nice little pop this morning. Again, this is a stock that if you want to trade anything oil news related information, this is a good one. It trades very clean compared to oil stocks. Wow, we are ripping at this moment right now. So thank you for bringing that up. Here is you can see here nice movement starting to get going up quite a bit, 6%. So Oxy could be a sleeper. Well, not a sleeper. It could be one that could be on the secondary list. The issue with Oxy though that I've seen because we have traded in the past is that it can surprise you with a drop out of nowhere. So you always want to be careful with the number of shares. The ATR is not too high on this, but overall you want to be careful with the number of shares you take on this because it could just be one of those stocks that can change direction very, very fast. Also very heavily news driven, so you make sure you're watching, you got that audio squawk on in case you're in this trade one way or the other, you're executing correctly and being in tune with what's happening here. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on Oxy. It looks like we're getting towards the high of a couple of days ago. Let's see if it can reverse from there. What's it going to do? All right, so let's get to this list, guys. So let's start at the top here on the list that we have this morning. We have BIIB this morning. This is down quite a bit, 6.2. They got some news on it. And again, it's a stock that we have traded in the past before, or at least looked at. It is not all that clean when it comes to intraday trading, so it might not make our final list. We got some really good stuff here like Snap, Twitter, mRNA, BA, and Tesla that are trading really good in this pre-market at the moment. But let's be prepared for it because if this thing does hit our turbo breakdown scanners that we have up in the chat room, this could be exciting. So we are 304 is the low of the pre-market. Our highs pretty much cover here. We have the highs from the last two trading days in this area. Previous day close down here, it's got you covered as well. Towards the bottom of the pre-market high, you do have some areas of support and resistance right on here at 322. You do have another one on here as well around 314. So I want to mark those down because this could play very nicely in the intraday trading. You can see almost here where you're kind of getting some action off of that in the pre-market right now. You can see that's been tested twice at 314. But I'm not taking this up from the pre-market. We're taking this from the daily. Clearly, the daily has some support and resistance happening at that around that. I'm sorry, excuse me, at that 324 right on here. So you're clearly seeing that 322 also has that. It blew right through that in the pre-market, but it's good to have. If this thing is going to bounce back, this could be an area you want to have in your charts. If we decide to lose the pre-market low, oh man, this daily chart is so choppy. Look how choppy this is, guys. Hence the reason why I'm not going to keep this on my list. Also, look how light the volume is on top of that. Again, I'm going to drop it, but we'll have some levels just in case. We have one right here at 290. This one right in here. And I know you're thinking, Carlos, how are you find these levels? I'm looking basically where you're seeing a lot of bounces from the wicks, off the wicks and daily, right? So 297, 290, you see an area here where you have some of that as well. You kind of see someone here, one on here also, and then someone here as well. So again, not the greatest daily stock, not the greatest pre-market action. For that reason, I'm going to remove it, but we have our levels ready just in case it's going to surprise us today. BNTX, guys, is very active. 816,000 shares traded at the moment. Let's bring this line down here towards the pre-market high, sitting at 68.88. Towards the bottom of that pre-market high, we do have a daily right on here around 64.39, and then below that we do have a daily level here at 59.27. So we'll see how that plays out in the pre-market. Right now you can see those levels are actually they're reacting to it nicely here. You can see some support and resistance already across those levels. Below the price action, we do have an area here where we have a 51.75, several days bouncing off of that. We had this rejection here, and then we have some good support happening here on several days. This group of days here, this one here, and these two on here, that 51.75. Also, you can see how that's been testing this morning in the pre-market as well, pre-market action. And then below that, guys, you got the highs and lows from the last two trading days and the previous day close. So you got some really good levels off of this already. This is one that again, it's got a great pre-market activity. I love the volume. I love that it's up 33%. But at the moment, guys, this daily is just, again, I'm not sure what to expect out of this one. Out of everything else that I have, this might not make our final list. We'll keep it on here. Snap, guys, is just chopping around right now within this range, very tight range from the highs and lows right now. 14.75 is your low of the pre-market. Your high is sitting at 15.20. So we're kind of just chopping around within this range right now. This morning they got some good news. They have a big gap up this morning, 20%. Below that pre-market low, we do have a daily level at 14.08. You can see that here, nice rejection here, changing direction. That's good. And then below that, you're covered with the highs and lows from the last two trading days. So hopefully this can break out towards the top side and give us some good opportunities. If it does that above the pre-market high, you do have an area here at 15.51, and you do have all the way up here at 16.48. Again, Snap doesn't move that much. Today's catalyst can definitely get it going. We have 2.4 million shares traded. So that's quite a bit on here for Snap. Let's just hope that it's not going to just be extra choppy this morning. We can get some good movements out of it. Here's INO, guys. Actually traded very well yesterday. I did not keep it on my list. This is a stock that I don't have much success with. I have traded it probably once or twice. Has not done well for me. But yesterday, looking at it, in hindsight, without seeing how the price action was, because that's very important. You can have a very clean chart, and if the price action was horrible, it doesn't mean much for us in trading. So right now we do have a good pre-market activity, starting to bang our heads at the pre-market high at 1080. Which is this high right over here off of these days. So I'm going to keep that 1080 on there. It's slightly above the pre-market high, sitting at 1092, but I think this 1080 is going to be more important because you have a lot more support and resistance happening at that level. So that's more important to me than the actual pre-market high. If the pre-market high becomes 1113, we'll mark it down. But right now, that's the level you want to have on there. And then above that, we have already another level at 1186. So towards the bottom, guys, as we've been kind of doing a staircase nicely on the way up here, you do have your highs and lows. I got you covered with some good support towards the bottom here on NIO. Twitter this morning, sympathy move is kind of being, I'm going to remove these levels, kind of stuck within these highs and lows from the last two trading days. We've been chopping around a little bit here. I'm going to mark down our pre-market high at 27.20. We'll have that on there. And then if we can break out of that, we have the highs from 2 days ago. And then above that, we have another high over here, rejection on 27.92. So I think that's playing towards the top and bottom. But the one to watch today will be Snap. Hopefully Snap can trade well. I'm going to remove Twitter for the most part right now. This will be a good one, Twitter, to watch in our scanners, because Twitter, if it gets going, it trades a hell of a lot cleaner than Snap does. Every single time, Twitter is going to trade better. It's going to be cleaner. So if Twitter can get going, that'll be the one to switch or add to your list. Here's we have already good mRNA. This one has been very active the last couple of days. Some really good clean trading, very great moves on it. Look at this pop here. Look at this drop. And then look at this reversal yesterday. I mean, it's just amazing trading here, right back to VWAP. This is a great reversal signal here that you're getting. And if you get an entry anywhere around here, you could take this beautiful pattern on the way up. And if you missed it, you also have an ABCD pattern forming here. Look at the support, ABCD towards the VWAP, okay? Question that I get a lot, can you take an ABCD pattern below the VWAP? And the answer is yes, you can take it below the VWAP. Just make sure your risk to rewards is in your favor. That's the important part there. All right, so guys, let's look at what we have here. So right now we're chopping around. It's not looking all that great. We're gonna do levels for it, but it might not make our final list today. It doesn't have a great pre-market activity. High of the pre-market 52.22. 50.12 is the low of the pre-market. On the towards the bottom, you got the previous day close, and you got this great area of support down here between 45 and 43. Several days using this as support. Every time we got into this area, it was bought back up, and today we're kind of moving sideways a bit here. It could be a great possible continuation. Either way, this can go right now. It can come back down here to previous day close, or it can shoot up to above 52.20. There's really no given direction where it wants to do right now. Either way it can go is as good of a guess for us to take here. Here's BA. So BA's got a great pre-market, started going around 8 o'clock. Nice pop here on the 5-minute at the moment. So pre-market high, getting close to the high from yesterday. But right now it's rejecting at 141.51. So we're going to mark that down. It's coming back, giving some back a little bit here. Let's see if it's going to pull back and hold. The low of the pre-market on our daily is around 138.78. So we'll mark that down. And then if we can if we can break out from the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days right on here, right? This is your area where you're having a lot of resistance. You can see if you look at the daily, how many days have bounced off this range here, right? This 140, 142 range. You have a moving average also slightly above that. And the next clean level, if we can break out of that, will be 145. So we'll see what BA does. Towards the bottom, guys, you got your pre-market low and you got your previous day close, which also has been a great area of resistance and support. You can see that right on the last couple of days we tested that, actually went below it here and bounced right back up, and the last 2 days have closed right around that 136 area, and I have now sold off more than that. So we'll see what it does here, rejecting a little bit of the 141.51, giving some back. Let's see how the pre-market is going to react on this one. Here is Tesla. Tesla also giving some back. I think Tesla, we don't have to add any more levels. I mean, the last couple of days created a great support and resistance for us right on here. You have your support previous day close, also the low from yesterday. Pre-market low is very close to that. Your pre-market highs, the low from the last 2 trading days right on there. Above that, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. You really do not need to add anything more on Tesla. I think you're good. You do want to add probably just the pre-market high, maybe a 702 or 707. So if you're doing any intraday trading, you at least have that, because usually stocks like to come back up and retest this, and usually around this area you're going to get the increase in volume, and whoever beats out buyers or sellers, you're going to get a nice pop or drop off that level. So that's what we want to be looking for, and then take advantage in whichever direction the stock is going to go. Here's Microsoft. Microsoft, very similar pattern right now. Again, dropping down. We got the highs and lows, got us covered for a bit here. Our pre-market high at the moment, we're kind of getting top here around this 171. 64, so I'm going to mark that down. And then towards the top, guys, pretty much covered. Just look at all the levels you have here from the last 2 days. Towards the bottom, previous day close and pre-market low from yesterday is right on here as well, 166. If we lose that, right, this is a great level, by the way. If you look at that 166, look how great that has been. Area of resistance, then support, the retest there. If we drop that, we do have here 163.39, so another great area of support as well. So we got a nice backup there in case we lose that. We can get to this one here. But overall, it's looking pretty strong right now. It's up 2.1 at the moment. Let's see how that continues. Here is Netflix. Netflix kind of going sideways a bit. Had a great pop at the close yesterday with some good news on it. A pre-market low sitting at 417. Below that, you do have one day all the way over here at 400. And then towards the top, you got plenty of highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. So I think you pretty much cover on Netflix. Again, it is a higher price stock, but it has been trading very clean. It has giving you some really good breakouts. We always talk about this breakout here. This was nice. Look at the resistance area. Once it comes above that, it just shoots up and holds. So that's a nice move for Netflix here. They got great volume right now, guys. 658. They're up. They're down 1.7. We definitely want to keep an eye on Netflix this morning. Here is PEC. So PEC is doing a great pre-market activity for a low flow stock. This is what you want to see. Nice pop. The drop is holding here. Hopefully it can continue to hold. And then you want this to come back up, right? That means that people are interested in what's happening here. Usually these low flow stocks, they pop up and then they just kind of start fading down and fading down. Usually when you see that, they're not as interesting as this one is. If this can get back towards the high of the day, high of the pre-market, which is sitting at 645, that could be even better. right on there. Towards the bottom, guys, we do have a base here in the pre-market at the moment, 520. So mark that down. You got a nice, beautiful base here. That's where we kind of bounced off from. Let's see if that bounce is going to hold. For the most part, I'm not going to watch this because I don't usually trade low floats or at all. If anything, here we have another level at 471, several days using support, resistance right on there. And then below that, you got a couple of days right on this area here at 416, several days using this as resistance, opening and closing around that area. So you want to have that 416 marked down. This thing could run in the last 2 months ago or so, 3 months ago, it did pop up to $7, and then the day before that, it went up all the way up to 751. So it's not a stranger to getting up there and with some good volume. So let's see what it does today. I'm going to move this one down here. This is a low flow stock, so I don't want nobody to get confused. CK, and we'll remove it from here, but I will definitely not be watching this one this morning. Here's BYND. No, I'm gonna remove BYND. It does have great pre-market action right now, so I'm gonna just take this one off for the most part. We do have levels from a couple of days ago that we did here, so if you want to mark those down, these are still pretty good. You have a 92.85, 101.79, and 101.09, but I'm gonna remove it from our list. I don't like the pre-market action right now on it. Here's Delta. Delta has 1.5 million shares traded. It is up 3.6. Pre-market is okay, it's decent, and it's kind of stuck within this range right here, right? The high is creating a lot of resistance right here. The pre-market high 24.22. So I'm not gonna watch this one, but I am going to have it on a secondary list. And I want to see this in a turbo breakup scanner, and I want to see it breaking out of this level. I think that would be more interesting when it comes to Delta. We have a level 25.52. We do have another one above that at 26.64. But if it can break out of here, or even towards the downside, I think the downside will be a lot harder to do, because if you can see here, we have tested this 23 so many different times. Even when we dropped here, we quickly recovered. But every time we tested this 23, you have found a way to stay above it. So this will be more interesting going towards the top side on Delta. I'm going to put it down here as a possible, because I'm not going to be watching it until it breaks out of that area. Here's Oxy, guys, another one that's moving very nice this morning. As far as levels, we have the pre-market highs and lows covering us right now. Pre-market highs did not get to the high from 2 days ago, so we're going to mark that down. 315 is where we have some kind of getting toppy here, but it looks like it might want to head back up here and test this area. Above that, you do have another level at 1366. And then slightly above that, you do have several days here at 1463 using as support, resistance right here, heavy rejection here. Look at the drop coming back down. So that's a good area to have a level on. So I like Oxy, guys. Again, be very careful with this one. You got to be in and out quickly. And if you're in a trade, this is what Andrew does that he's very good at. And I'll have learned from him that when he's in a trade and his move is not happening in a couple of seconds to a minute tops, right? If you're expecting an explosion, you just get out of the trade. You can always get back in, but just get out of the trade, because usually what happens is you're fighting against a level that's not going to break, and then boom, you get the drop. So don't stick around if you're expecting the move to happen immediately. Don't stick around. For the most part, when you do, it's going to come back down. So be careful with that. All right, guys, we got a pretty good list. I got to fine tune a little bit more for what I'm going to be watching. So we have BNTX this morning. We have Snap, which is just snapping around with some choppiness here. INO. I know it's not looking all that great, guys. I'm going to remove it from my list right now. So we remove that one. mRNA is good. I like this. Yes, let's get back down to 50.12. That'll be good. We're building a nice range here, so this is nice here. We got some good volume on it. BA's, this is a beautiful textbook pre-market action right now we're getting on BA, so this is good. I want to have that on there. Here's Tesla, same thing. Tesla has a great pre-market activity. I know this one's a little bit higher price, but you don't have to take a lot of shares on this one to get a good, decent outcome and return here. Right? You take a small shares, and you're gonna get a $1 or $2 move on there. So here's our CFO of the company right there. Is watching over, making sure everything is we're doing the right thing.
Yeah, David from Connecticut, good friend. He corrected me that this is actually my risk manager.
There you go. That's a better title. I like it.
He's riding my ass this morning. He's all over me. Man.
He looks serious though. He's all business. Look at him. So
he is.
Here we have Netflix. Netflix is decent, and then Oxy is it's starting to give some back here. So yeah, I think we have not the greatest list. Let's be honest. We've seen so much better lists before in the past. So on a day like this, you got to be patient. Don't rush anything. Wait for the moves to happen, and keep an eye on scanners. Let's see if Snap can break out of this 1504. I'm gonna mark down this 1504 because it seems to be having a very tough time getting above that and back to the pre-market high. So let's mark that 1504 there. Let's see if it can break out to 1516. But yeah, not looking quickly over. It's not the best watch list we've have had. We definitely seen better. So it could be one of those days where you got to sit on your hands a little bit, and you'd be surprised if you wait 30 minutes, right? Sometimes when the bell rings, we get a little hectic and we all want to take a trade immediately. But if you wait 30 minutes, 15 minutes, you'd be surprised how things start settling in nicely and you can find some opportunity. So there's nothing wrong with PEC actually. So somebody's asking what's wrong with PEC, PECK.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's nothing wrong with it at all. It's got a great pre-market activity. It's holding this 520 level. The issue is it is a low flow stock, guys. It is sitting at 3.4 million shares traded. So anything under 20 million shares float, I typically stay away from. If I'm gonna trade something in that below that 20 million shares flow, it's gonna be very very small shares. But again, they're just riskier and they're more susceptible to being dropped. In the price, the action could be just drastic. So you could be sitting here at 545 and somebody comes in with a huge order and boom, you're sitting at 416. That's not going to happen with stocks like Snap, like BA, like Tesla, like Microsoft. Very rarely you're going to see that. In these type of low flow stocks, you see that very very often. So again, I think it takes a different type of skill to trade those stocks. There's nothing wrong with low flow stocks. I think there's some really good traders that do it, but you have to be experienced. I think that's the key thing here. If you're not experienced, just avoid them from now. Learn with these here. They're not as violent as those low flow stocks, and then eventually you could kind of build to those low flow stocks. But right now, just stick to stuff that it's not going to move like that and surprise you. All right, folks. So that is what we have 9:16. So we're getting ready for our market open. Andrew will be coming on shortly. Brian will be coming on, and we're gonna go over fine tuning this list. Let's see what everybody else is watching right now. We have Peter is watching Snap, AMD, Facebook. On his secondary, he has Netflix, BNTX, TXN, mRNA, and Delta. So let's look at TXN. We didn't check that
We
one.
reported earnings last night.
Okay, all right.
It just, a lot of times it's a tough stock to trade.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is a Texas Instrument. We
My
looked at
guess
it
is
plenty.
that there will be some sympathy moves. They're the first real kind of in the semiconductor space that
Mm-hmm.
reports, and a lot of times it's a bellwether for that.
Yep.
So AMDs, Nvidias, Microns, all those might move based on what came out of Texan last night.
Gotcha. Yeah. Again, as you can see here, our gappers list is growing very nicely here. A lot of the same stuff we've been watching: J.P. Morgan, Microsoft, Uber. So again, we'll fine tune things and see what we can get out of this. Thor is watching Delta Airlines, UAL, Snap, and AMD. That's his list. And then Brian's going to be coming up shortly and putting what he's watching. Norm will put his watches as well. And we'll go from there, guys. So, guys, thank you. Take care. Trade safe today. We will see you again tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern Time. Again, just be safe out there. Hopefully your families are doing well with everything going on. And hopefully you're doing well mentally as well. It's not easy being stuck at home. So hopefully you're doing okay. My wife is telling me I got to stop wearing hats in this show to let her cut my hair. So this weekend that might be happening, Norm. Wish me luck.
Yeah, and I've got this beard still. It's terrible beard. Yeah, trade safe, guys. Take care. Don't make the risk manager come after you.
Absolutely.
See you tomorrow morning.
Take care, guys. Hey, Brian, how you doing today?
Good. We're all talking about our hair. That's funny.
How long's your hair now, Brian?
Good morning. I always wear my hair a little long, so it's like, yeah, just, it's getting there. It's getting there.